What if that rumbling in your stomach at 10 in the morning isn't a signal that your body truly needs food, but is simply an echo of a modern habit? We have lived by an unspoken rule, 3 meals a day. But what if that rule is just a recent experiment, and your body was actually engineered for a completely different rhythm? Join us on a journey inside the body of Alex, an ordinary person stepping off the constant snacking carousel to rediscover an ancient biological blueprint. We are about to witness a silent revolution at the cellular level, where dormant hormones are reawakened and a forgotten energy source is finally unlocked. Inside Alex, a city never slept. Its most dedicated traffic cop, a hormone named insulin, was exhausted. For years, it had worked without a single day off. Every meal, every snack, every sugary coffee was another fleet of massive glucose trucks roaring down the arterial highways. Insulin's job was relentless, and its only command was always the same: store it. It directed the endless stream of energy into the city's warehouses, the fat cells, which were now overflowing and strained. The central processing plant, the liver, was constantly on high alert, struggling to manage the chaotic influx. The entire metropolis was permanently locked in storage mode, a state of perpetual accumulation with no time for repair or cleanup. Then, one day, Alex started OMAD. For the first time in years, the glucose trucks stopped coming. The city fell into an eerie silence. Panic began to set in. A frantic messenger named ghrelin, the hormone of nostalgia, began sounding the alarms, not because the city was truly out of power, but simply because the trucks were late according to the old, familiar schedule. It screamed at the usual breakfast time, then again at lunch, creating waves of perceived hunger that were nothing more than habit. But Central Command held firm. Around the 12th hour, the city's emergency power stations, the glycogen reserves stored in the liver and muscles, began to run low. The city's lights flickered. Faced with an energy crisis, Central Command made a historic decision. Instead of waiting for an external shipment that might never arrive, it issued a radical new directive. A message was sent to the liver, authorizing it to unlock the long-forgotten, vast energy vaults. It was time to flip the great switch. The liver began a remarkable process of alchemy, converting the stored fat from the overflowing warehouses into a clean, high-octane fuel called ketones. Alex's biological engine was shifting from burning sugar to burning its own fat. The first ketone molecules, like tiny, clean-burning power cells, began their journey to the brain. Unlike the volatile energy from sugar, which burns hot and leaves behind inflammatory residue, ketones offered a calm, steady current. The fog that had clouded Alex's mind for years began to lift, replaced by a sharp, effortless focus. This wasn't magic. It was the brain's ancient hunter mode activating, a state of heightened alertness hardwired into our DNA for times when finding food required peak mental performance. As this new fuel coursed through the neural pathways, the brain also increased its production of BDNF, a remarkable protein that acts like fertilizer for brain cells, encouraging the growth of new neurons and strengthening existing connections. But the revolution wasn't just happening in the brain. Deeper within the city, after the 16-hour mark of silence, a specialized team was deployed. This was the Autophagy crew. Think of them as the city's elite, microscopic janitors and recyclers. They moved silently through every cell, their mission clear: to seek and dismantle. They targeted old, damaged proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria that were sputtering like faulty engines, and any other cellular junk that was clogging up the system. They didn't just discard this waste. They intelligently broke it down into raw materials, providing fresh resources for cellular repair and renewal. This was the body's profound, built-in housekeeping service, a process so vital to our health that its discovery earned a Nobel Prize. Meanwhile, the city's communication network was being rewired. Ghrelin, the nostalgic alarmist, finally learned the new schedule. After a few days of pointless shouting, it stopped its daily tirades and learned to speak in a quiet whisper. In its place, Alex's single, nutrient-dense meal triggered a powerful wave of satiety hormones, GLP-1 and CCK. They marched straight to the brain's command center to deliver a clear, long-lasting message: mission accomplished, we are full. And insulin, our overworked traffic cop, finally got its well-deserved 23-hour vacation, allowing the city to operate in a state of calm efficiency. Soon, the revolution happening inside began to show on the outside. The overstuffed fat warehouses started to shrink. Alex's energy levels, once a chaotic roller coaster of sugar highs and afternoon crashes, smoothed out into a long, steady plateau. The 3 p.m. slump, which had been a daily fixture for years, simply vanished. The body was no longer a machine frantically waiting for its next fuel injection, but a self-sufficient powerhouse. Now, meet David, a 35-year-old who lost 45 pounds in 6 months without giving up pizza, burgers, or pasta. His story isn't magic, it's biology in action. David didn't meticulously count calories or banish his favorite foods. He simply restricted his eating window to 1 strategic hour per day. His story is living proof of the core principle. It wasn't just what times he ate, but times he ate that mattered. By giving his body a 23-hour metabolic rest, he allowed the fat-burning and cellular cleanup crews to work their magic, uninterrupted. However, this is not a silver bullet. The digestive system, like any processing plant, has a daily capacity. Forcing an entire day's worth of food through it in a single hour can overload the machinery, leading to bloating, acid reflux, and profound discomfort. Furthermore, you have only one window of opportunity to supply your body with all the essential vitamins, minerals, and proteins it needs to function for the next 23 hours. If that one meal is not planned with wisdom, the risk of nutrient deficiency is very real. And crucially, OMAD is not a tool for everyone. For individuals with a history of disordered eating, the rigid structure can trigger unhealthy cycles of restriction and binging. It should also be avoided by pregnant women, children, and those with certain medical conditions. OMAD is a tool, and like any powerful tool, it must be used with caution and respect for the machine it is operating. We have journeyed from an exhausted city, perpetually dependent on sugar, to an efficient biological machine that is metabolically flexible and capable of self-repair. In the end, OMAD is not about the suffering of deprivation. It is about giving your body the most precious gift of all: time. Time for its digestive system to rest, time for the cellular cleanup crews to do their vital work, and time to heal from the inside out. This is a return to our original biological blueprint, a state where food is no longer a constant obsession, but an instrument used with purpose and awareness. The ultimate goal is not to blindly follow a rigid diet, but to finally understand and listen to your own unique biology. Because the greatest wisdom isn't found in a book or a video, it is already waiting, quietly, inside every single one of your cells.